What's up YouTube, it's Warhog here, bringing you some Wargame Red Dragon. This is actually a 4v4 match I played recently, in fact last night. It was a game I played last night, very enjoyable, very intense, and must I just say, a very long match indeed. It was a 4 versus 4 on the Cold War map. We spawned down here as NATO. As you can see, it's a pretty even looking map. There's hills, a sort of a valley right in the middle, mountainous hills on the either flank here, covered in forests. The enemy went straight for Foxtrot. I decided to push over to Golf. I decided that taking this reinforcement zone here in Golf would reinforce the left flank and at least prevent us from being cut off. I think my fear was that if I put myself into Delta, they would take Echo and our flank would be completely and utterly vulnerable. So I decided I would move straight for Echo and ignore Delta for now. As you can see, my teammate decided, eat SU-27 for breakfast, decided to attempt to take the town here in the centre. I think his plan was to take the town and hold it. I don't know what the other two guys were doing, I will admit. I'm not entirely sure what the other two guys were doing. I think his Snake Top Gun, I think he's helping out. I'm not entirely sure. He's got one unit down there. So Snake Top Gun is mostly moving around this area. Oh, he's also got troops over here, and so is the other guy with a name I cannot pronounce. Some symbols. Random CV sitting in the middle of nowhere. Okay, he has units over there as well. Bit of a large air war going on at the moment over the centre. Now I brought the Voodoo out thinking that I could take out some of their radar units. This plan actually didn't quite work. Oh, hang on. No, it was a complete and utter failure. I think I lost at least one, possibly two Voodoos trying to do this. They obviously were using some non-radar anti-aircraft weaponry at some point to manage to take them out. In fact, there it goes. Kabloom. So anyway, yes, it was a bit of a war going on in the centre. We've pushed in. Unfortunately, I think what he's done is he's pushed in. He's bringing some infantry up now, and he's got a lot of AA infantry and some anti-tank infantry supported by some tanks. By the looks of it, he's playing as the French. Yeah, he's playing as the French. He's got some infantry in there now. But the enemy's already got infantry in there, you see. So the enemy has the advantage in the centre. Now I've pushed up and I've taken Echo here. As you can see, I decided to try and deploy anti-aircraft weaponry along this ridge, and I think my plan was if the enemy attacked anywhere along this road, I would hope to have long to medium range AT weaponry positioned here as well, so I'd be able to pick them off as they try to attack. Taking advantage of the reinforcement route here, I thought I'd put some infantry in just to prevent me from being flanked, because I know how that feels at times. Some choppers as backup, and one of the mighty Challenger 2s here. Let's get some of that. There we go, mighty Challenger 2, and he's gone back to being a weird ghost figure. So the battle is raging in the centre. He's calling for help. At this point, he more or less realised that I think he's against two enemy players, at least in the centre, while he's more or less alone. Now, we just lost another jet there, so my ally is sending in jets to try and help out, but losing a couple of them. We've got some artillery firing off now. There you go, rocket artillery there. Now we've moved up, taken Bravo. We've got infantry on. We've got mechanized troops on the way up to Golf, but for some reason he's just not pushed into it. I haven't been paying attention, so I don't know if the enemy have any troops here, but that's, in my opinion, that was an open objective, so I don't know why he didn't aggressively move up and take that, because if he took that, we'd threaten Hotel, and if we were threatening Hotel, they would have been unable to reinforce Charlie as easily, and we probably would have taken the centre as well. So we've got two guys on the right flank, but they just were not aggressive enough, unfortunately. So as we see here, so we've got some enemy jets coming in, patrolling the area. We've more or less been forced out. I mean, we got as far as the centre of the town, but we've been forced out now. So, unfortunately, I'm going to call him Breakfast. Unfortunately, Breakfast has been forced out of the centre of the town. He's now fighting overwhelming enemy infantry forces. and I'm afraid I think our fight in the centre is more or less over now. I mean, let's see. Snake Top Gun's bringing in some bombers. Now, this is an interesting turn of events. Despite the fact that they have taken the centre, Cracker decides to abort and leave the game. Whether or not he had a connection issue, or he just quite literally gave up, or lost too many of the expensive units, I don't know. So it's now a 4 versus 3, I will admit. Uneven in their advantage, but they do have the centre, with overwhelming force in the centre. And our ally on the right flank is still not pushing up on an unoccupied Gulf. I mean, we could have had a reinforcement zone up here in Gulf and really threaten their flanks, so I have no idea why he didn't push. Here we go on the left. We have the first signs of enemy armoured vehicles. Now they're just outside of my range the way outside of the range of that Milan 2 there. I don't actually have any more AT units. I've got SES down here in case they decide to come down this route. They can ambush them and hopefully hold them off long enough for me to respond. Now, I don't know if the enemy were actually intending on shelling this zone because they could see anything. I don't actually know if they've got any recon over here, or if they intended to just shell it to see if they could kill anything. In which case they failed to kill anything, and they delayed my reinforcement there. They panicked them a little bit, but they didn't kill anything. I actually like these TOW2s. These Aslav TOW2s, they're pretty handy units. So, like I said, I'm going to start trying to reinforce my AT defences on this ridge now, and also bolster my anti-aircraft. I'm bringing in some artillery down in this region here, see if I can support any assaults on the Charlie here. As you can see, we've pretty much been forced out of Charlie. We pretty much have lost Charlie, and now he pushes some troops up to the Gulf as they have it, and he's been completely and utterly decimated and forced into a retreat by the looks of things. So unfortunately we missed our opportunity in Gulf. We lost the battle in Charlie. So it's I mean, let's see, they hold the advantage. In theory they hold the advantage. They've destroyed more than us. They hold the advantage. It is a 3 versus 4. They have the 3, we have the 4, but one of our players is more or less just sitting around this region not doing much at all. So it's an interesting battle so far. Now I'm actually going to speed things up a bit. There we go, 2 times to see what we get. I'm actually going to take a look at the neutral view. And there goes another one of my radar planes. See if we can hunt anything. Now this is the positioning. Now of course I can't see any of this, but this is the positioning of the enemy. So we can actually see they have a lot of artillery back here, a lot of artillery. They're bringing in some forces into this area. They have some AA, some infantry, but they're bringing more reinforcements up. A whole batch of AA here. As you can see, they have completely swamped the town at Charlie. They completely occupy it. Now up here in Gulf, now they have a load of troops over here, so it's going to be even harder for my allies to push up and take this territory, if at all possible. So I think it's turned into a defensive game on the flanks and holding them in the centre to see what damage we can do while this occurs. Now you can see on the left flank here, he's sending in his bomber to try and take my take my helicopters out. There we go, enemy helicopters down, pulling back, and in goes some jets, and he lost his bomber there. So actually, they're still in the lead. They're still in the lead in terms of points. I'm going to bring this back down to my team only. Now, we just saw some more bombers coming in there. I'm not entirely sure what he's intending on bombing, because I don't really have anything to bomb in this region yet. So I've started to bring some SAS out here now. I mean, my intention with these SAS was to push them up on the flank, see if I can land them. I don't know where. either here, or even here, safe distance, and then have them hump it across this mountain ridge and into this territory and see if 4 SAS squads can deal some damage. Unfortunately, what you see here is the first of the enemy's attacks. Now we've got a large infantry, I guess, actually quite small infantry, just a lot of armour. So we've got tanks coming in now. They've lost one already. That was from my Harrier GR7, I believe. Now I do have, as you can see, my only defences is this TOW 2 and a Challenger 2. So I moved the Challenger 2 up. So as you can see, I have a Milan 2 up here and a TOW 2 as well. Now the enemy are bringing their forces into the... I've just lost the TOW 2. Now I know my Challenger 2 is going to get overrun, so I decided to pull the Challenger 2 back. So the enemy are still trying to push. What's this, 4 tanks left? Now they are losing those tanks really quickly. As you can see, they've got AA backing them up. We sent in a lot of jets. I think we lost 1 jet at least. So my Challenger 2 survived. I lost the TOW 2. I actually deployed the SAS in case they broke through. So my plan to flank the SAS somewhat ended prematurely. The bulk of their attack failed. And as you can see, the bulk of their attack failed. This route is now littered with the corpses of enemy tanks. They moved up some AA. They've got more AA in the region. I believe there's also an infantry unit here, something back there as well. Challenger 2 still taking out the enemy. I think there goes my Voodoo man. Should take out that Tunguska there. Harrier GR7 flying around. Used up the last of its ammunition. T62 going, and survived. Okay. I think that was a bit of a mistake on my part. I mean, I managed to bomb this region with napalm, but I think I lost my plane in the process. Exploded on this hillside, I think. Now they've realised the danger of my long-range anti-tank missiles on this ridge and have decided to shell it. I believe that TOW 2 survived. Can't quite remember. I believe it did. I sent my SAS down to see if they could get a lucky pot shot and finish off this T62. It didn't quite go as planned. They were obviously spotted by the recon. Maybe this one or maybe another one. I can't see. But they sent in a whole load of artillery fire and literally decimated this squad. I've got artillery down here, which were counter-arty because I completely ignored them. I'm moving this one out of the way now and reinforcing it with another one. So here comes the artillery. So they've got some mortars or something here. There it is. Just speed things up again now. So there's the SAS getting absolutely decimated. Let's take a look at the neutral view again. There it is. So this is the enemy's positioning right now. As you can see, more jets coming over. There's still a fight going on the right flank. Now they've actually pushed up. That guy Ratskin, he has pushed up now, and our ally, whose name is still unpronounceable, has been completely engulfed in flames. This is a forest fire here now. So what could have been an easy control of the right flank has turned into a defensive game, which has now turned into well, effectively a retreat. He has to pull his forces back and establish a new defensive line. They've taken the crossroads by the looks of it. They stay hold strong defensive positions with plenty of AA in the centre. And here comes what looks like more vehicles for possibly a second attack on the left flank there from Foxtrot. They still have a T-62 hovering about in the centre. Ooh, it's taking damage, but just about surviving. One more shot should finish it off. Bringing in this, I believe it's a Canadian. Start moving. I'm using my, Yeah, I think I'm using the coalition deck. Yeah, I'm using the coalition deck in this. I had to check that for a second. So I believe that is a Canadian logistics chopper. Shot down another jet there. I think there's another one of my... is he going to survive? It survived. Burn! Now, I did actually manage to send some SAS in. Now, they got bombed. So I managed to send some SAS in, still losing some of the guys, but my intention was to help try and clear out some of the AA within this region. They've obviously realised the threat and decided to send them in to counter me. I've only got 11 guys left. And wow, they're sending in a massive force to now counter out these SAS. I'm guessing they think there's a lot more here. Another AA down. Now Ratskin leaves. Now this is an interesting development. So Ratskin has pushed up and has taken the crossroads. He occupies this area and could really cause problems for us at Bravo, and yet he's left. So now it's 2 versus 4. So I don't know whether or not this is connection issues or what, but I guess that was kind of annoying, despite the fact that they have a clear advantage. I mean, we've taken over in terms of damage, but they have a clear advantage, and this is a long-haul game. I mean, look at that. 24,000 points to get for victory, or at least the highest points by the end of an hour. Now, as you can see, I reinforced this zone here with another Challenger 2, so in case they decide to attack again, which I believe will be coming very shortly. Now, I've lost my SAS there, and I've reinforced this zone with another Challenger 2, just in case they decide to attack once again. Now they're bringing up some troops on the left flank now. As you can see, they're starting to push us on the left flank in the forest here. A relatively weak flank. We've mostly got AA units. I've got some infantry here. I've got some SAS. They're like their napalm bombs. But we shoot down their jets almost straight away. There's 2 in quick succession. Look at that. Now, I know that from looking at it before, I know they've got a lot of infantry coming down here. Now, obviously at the time I didn't, but looking at the replay I do. So they've got a large force in this region, and they've got some tanks here with reinforcements. So I'm expecting another assault. I literally was expecting another assault. Now I have reinforced with some more Milan 2s. I've got some more javelins up now, see if I can reinforce this area. I lost my recon chopper over here, so I think I lost a second recon chopper, so I decided to send some recon infantry instead with the Milans there. Now over here I sent my SS, because the enemy had some infantry in this region. I sent my SAS in to kill them, and unfortunately upon their retreat they were bombarded and slaughtered by a bunch of tanks in this region. So I've lost the SAS over here. It's no big loss, really. As you can see, we're still fighting enemy infantry on this region, so this is probably the infantry they brought up to counter my SAS originally. More artillery fire coming in. As you can see, they've got artillery scattered all over this region. We've got some of our own coming in. Speed stuff up again, see what happens. Ooh. You see that? That was a nice hit. Hit something there. Now, they can see my Challenger 2, so they're trying to bomb them. So I've decided to pull them back for now. Just lost my TOW 2 there. Now, smoke out, so you can see they've put some smoke down. 2 Tungustas moving up, first thing. Now that's a suicide charge. There we go. Now my Challengers, this Challenger particularly, is running out of fuel. I believe I was going to resolve that somewhere around here. I was going to bring something up to help reinforce this area. There it is. Right, okay, here we go. Here's another assault of theirs. This time they're going heavy AA as well. I think the last time we completely and utterly annihilated them with our jets as well. So here comes the second assault. Now I've got 2 Challenger 2s in this area, backed up by 2 TOW 2 helicopters, Lynx helicopters, and I've got some reinforcing troops from Breakfast here in his tanks. carnage. So in goes the armoured attack, supported by AA there. The deadly Challenger 2s. So there's the other one. So I've got two Challenger 2s, one there and one over here. There it is. So that's the enemy attack completely thwarted. So as you can see, we're now leading in terms of points. They sent a second assault in this region, and they're re-attacking us with infantry on the far left. So the focus of the battle originally was in the centre, then there was some action over here. As we can quite clearly see, well, as we saw before, and if we just stick it back on neutral, the enemy occupy this area now. I don't think our guys have the strength or the will to break through that. And I don't think we have the strength of the will to break in through the centre either. So the fight is literally on the left flank now. Pretty much the battle has shifted to my flank on the left. I think this is where their active players are mostly. The guys who've left have pretty much left a whole load of forces in the centre and right. So there's a more or less no-go zones, I guess, now, because the sheer number of forces they have. So right now the focus of the battle is on the left. We're holding out against wave upon wave of enemy attacks. As you can see, a massive wave of enemy infantry. My SAS and Royal Marines are holding on as best they can. They're taking casualties. They're just holding on. I believe that's the Royal Marines down to their last man. Incoming more bomber jets to take out my positions. Speed things up a bit for you. So you can see the enemy went heavy on the bombers here and the jets. So the enemy definitely outnumbers in terms of aircraft. Now they decided to bomb this area with a burrito or burrito. I've got the burrito. Sounds yummy. Still holding on. I consider the fact I still have decent enough anti-air cover here. And as you can see, I'm reinforcing the ridge with some more Milan 2s. Just in case they launch another assault. Okay, so we've held off. I'm going to say 2 waves. The second wave was much bigger. As you can see, once again, here comes another batch of enemy vehicles. Now I've still got my 2 Challenger 2s, this time backed up by 2 Challenger 1 Mark 3s and a TOW 2 back here. Lines on the ridge start opening fire. Spetsnaz. I've already lost the vehicles. 30 Spetsnaz infantry then. Now that could cause some trouble for me. Now look at this. This is one epic attack. Look at all this. One mass attack. So they are determined to break through here, because if they broke through this region now, then they could push in for the reinforcement zone of Echo, completely clear this area out, because other than my focus of tanks and AT weapons up here, all we've got is AA vehicles and sporadic infantry. So if they cleared Echo out, we'd be in serious trouble. So they're smoking this area now to try and blind my tanks from seeing their troops. I am still trying to rearm, reinforce, and repair these units. These massive tanks. In they go. Now, fortunately, I lost my one of my Challenger 2s. No! And that was, I believe, my most highly ranked one, my most experienced Challenger 2. It doesn't help that they got these AT weapons up over the ridge. So I decided to pull my troops back for now, pull them into this centre area, and hopefully get some fire on from my support here from Breakfast. He's brought in a load of backup. So I'm just pulling my troops back to pull them into the crossfire zone here. They've still got sufficient, they still have a lot of tanks. Harrier GR7 just about survives, I think. Just. So brought a two Challenger 1 Mark 1s. Pulled out my TOW 2 there. He's nearly out of ammunition. Lost the AA weapon there. Challenger 2 still alive. Now bringing in a whole load of, let's see if there's some seed aircraft there, attack aircraft, another bomber. That bomber goes down. Another bomber there. And I believe he survives. No, he goes down. Look at that. Very cheap though, so I think they've got a lot of cheap aircraft. Now, of course, they've just bombed Breakfast's position. He's still holding out. Challenger 2 pulling him out of the fire zone. Pushing forward again now with my 4 Challenger Mark 1s and Mark 3s. So that enemy attack force has been completely decimated now. This area is just littered with the wrecked corpses of enemy vehicles and tanks. Look at this corner. There's the burrito. Or burritino. I know it's called burritino, I like to call it the burrito. Because I'm a spaz. Massive French tanks. Actually, is this? Yeah, they're the French only, aren't they? Let's bring in another backup, another Challenger 1 Mark 3. I already lost one, you see, I lost one in Mark 3, so I decided to replace that. Brought up some more anti-aircraft weaponry, as you can see, track rapiers, 2 of them, 1 radar, 1 non, and Challenger marksman. I believe I decided to pull the TOW 2 back to rearm that. I've got these anti-tank helicopters up here as well. Still got the Challenger 2 here. It is damaged, but surviving. So we've now got some, thanks for Breakfast and Snake Type Gun, we've got some infantry on this ridge, so they're no longer going to push down over there and hit me with AT weapons in the side. They've renewed their infantry assault on the left flank, as you can see. I don't have much left over here, so I've got some helicopters, about 20 Royal Marines. They're going to go up and see if they can help out. We've got more infantry coming in from this direction though. I've got some 20 SAS coming up in reserve. I actually forgot about these Royal Marines. I forgot I had those. I could have actually used them. Now they're bombing an area where there's nothing, so they're just trying to take pot shots now. That they are getting close to my Challenger 2 Mark 1s here. Challenger 1 Mark 1s, sorry. So I'm going to pull them up to take cover in the shadow of the mountain. So we've repelled yet another assault, this time a massive assault. Now they're focusing on the infantry assault on the left. Now if they coordinated the infantry assault and the tank assaults, they probably would have done more damage. But as you can see, we've repelled most of the assault here. Now here come the bombers once again. Ouch. I decided to try and take out this Bertino. Failed. He escaped. Once again trying to bomb the reinforcement zone, seeing if they could catch any of our reinforcement troops, do some damage. Now as you can see, there's yet another assault coming in down here. Another mechanized infantry assault. So they are relentlessly trying to attack us somehow, and I will say again, somehow, considering the fact that we mostly have anti-aircraft weaponry in this zone, we've managed to hold on. Now, this is my, these are my reserves. The Fusiliers, I believe, Fusiliers in the warrior tanks. So these are my reserves now, bringing up. So I decided to deploy those and launch a mechanized infantry, mechanized assault across this ridge here. Once again, trying to bomb my my tanks. Decided to move them out again. They're still losing aircraft, and we are now in the lead. We've got over half their points, I believe, now. As you can see there, due to their relentless attacks, we've managed to build up a massive lead in the points. Now, unfortunately, well, here goes my attack with the infantry and the mechanized armour. Unfortunately, their relentless artillery attacks really are damaging. Now, they've lost General Specific, so they're down to this guy, Rambatitude. So I don't know who's controlling their artillery now, but he's relentless. So unfortunately, this was the I think one of their final moves. Rambatitude decides to launch an assault with all of his helicopters, completely decimates my attack force there, and now we've got a large force of rocket, and I believe there's some tow missiles. There's a massive force of helicopters coming in, more helicopters in the back. So this was an interesting challenge. So in order to respond, I brought out some more of my anti-aircraft weaponry, some more Challenger marksman's rapiers. So I've got all Challenger marksmans now on the field. One of them's over here, two of them over here. Moving my tanks up again. I decided to keep these moving around so you couldn't get artilleried again. Now here come the helicopters. Challenger marksman firing away. Yet another assault coming in here. Just slow things down a bit again. Here we go. Yet another assault, possibly even bigger than the last one. So I decided to position my tanks along this ridge here. In a line, they'd fire as the enemy bear. And the enemy are just blitzing it down this main road. Here comes the enemy column. Oh, Lord, yeah. So that's what happened to one of my logistics choppers. I wonder where that went. So my Challenger 2 at the back there providing longer range support. More Challenger 1s in the front, so I've still got 3 Challenger 1s left. Unfortunately, I think this is an annoying thing. My tanks had this annoying habit of turning to face that way. I have no idea why. I kept telling them to face the direction of the valley, but they kept doing this. Not entirely sure why. I decided to reinforce with these guys. I have these on my deck, which are Leopard 1 Mexus tanks. Now they're heavily armed Leopard 1s with about 30 to 40% stabilizers, so I reckon these would be they're only 80 points of pop, so I decided to use these in my deck as a sort of a rolling front line. If they die, it's no big loss. They've got some armour on the front, and they can fire very well on the move, and they still got decently powerful guns, so I reckoned I'd have those out front to spearhead any armoured pushes. Now here we go, they've still got helicopters coming in on this flank, and we're still holding out with the Challenger marksmen and AA vehicles. So we've got a tank graveyard in the centre and a helicopter graveyard on that flank. Let's take a look down here. Look at all these tank wrecks. Incoming, another artillery barrage incoming. They decided to push down this flank. This is the first time they decided to push down here. What I find interesting is that they haven't got any armoured vehicles left as such. They've got these... Well, I was going to try and think of another word for it. They are armoured, but they don't have weapons as such. They've got some infantry there, but my Challenger marksman manages to hold them off almost by itself. So I brought some tow troops over now, tow helicopters. Some artillery fire coming in as well. They've still got some infantry back up here. It's absolute slaughter again. Trying to take out my recon troop. Sent the Challenger marksman back in. And that was it. Game over. So, good game to everyone. Good game to Breakfast. Thank you for supporting me on the left flank there, because probably without his support I would have absolutely folded. I don't know why Cracker and Ratskin left so early. I'm guessing it was connection issues. However, they did manage to set up... Cracker set up a strong defence in the centre, and Ratskin set up a strong defence on the right flank. So my allies could not get past them, even though they were controlled by the AI for the majority of the battle. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
Now in darkness world stops turning, ashes where the body's burning. No more war pigs of the power, and as God has struck the hour, day of judgment, God is calling.